Oh my gosh, it is getting much, much worse. Just don't bother coming to Ghana anymore. Just don't come here. Don't come here. Don't build. Don't do any of that, because right now it is absolutely crazy. I kid you not. But before I get into today's video, I noticed that a lot of you who have been watching me probably for a good few years on and off have not subscribed to this channel. So I would absolutely love it if you would do me a favor right now and hit the subscribe button for me. If I have given you any type of value before, anything, if I've saved you a couple of dollars, I would love it if you would subscribe. So you can go ahead and do that for me right now. I'll just wait for a second, shall I? Okay, thank you. Okay, so as you've guessed, today's video is all about living and building in Ghana. Okay, many of you know that I am in the process of building my house in Ghana. And I can tell you for a fact, building right now is crazy expensive. Prices are going up and up. So, and I said this many times before, for those of you that are coming here and you're thinking that, oh, I want to save up some money before I start building, you're doing yourself a disservice. Just start. Because if you haven't started yet, your cost that you had initially had in the beginning for your budget, whatever you thought it was that it was going to cost you to build that house, has gone up. Probably exponentially. Let me be honest with you. It probably has gone up to some crazy amount that now you have to stay and work a few more years. But if you keep doing the same thing, you're just going to price yourself out. It will never happen for you. I am so grateful that I started building at the time that I did, because even though at the time it seemed expensive to me, looking back now, it wasn't expensive. I remember complaining about iron rods being 3,000, I think, for a ton. And then they went up at one point to 6,000, which was crazy. Like 6,000 for iron rods. Oh, hell no. We ain't paying that. We're going to find an alternative material, because 6,000 for a ton of iron rods is crazy. But oh no. Give me 6,000 right now. Give me 6,000. I'll give you my money. Now a ton of rods has just gone up by 1,000 cedis. That is crazy. Now you might be thinking it like, okay, well, it's 1,000 cedis. It's not too much. But when you need to buy 10 tons of iron rods, that's an extra 10,000 cedis. Do you know how many bags of cement that can buy you? It is getting crazy here right now. So iron rods now, I believe, is 8,500. It just went up by 1,000 cedis. And that is a huge, huge, huge jump. Partly because of the rates right now, like the pound right now. I don't even know what the dollar is. I'm sure it's not far behind the pound. Maybe like, I don't know. I don't want to guess. I'm not going to guess. But the pound right now is 18. That is the highest I have ever seen. In fact, it's 18. When I checked last night, it was 18.6. 18.6 cedis to every pound. So prices jumped. So cement now, which was 100 cedis for a bag, which had been like that for a good few months, I would say, is now 120, an extra 20 cedis. I've never seen, in my time being here in Ghana, I've never seen the prices jump by that much. Usually you'll get, a few cedis here or there. Maybe it might go up 5 cedis, but I've never seen it go up by a full 20 cedis before. So that is absolutely crazy. I don't know. I thought I was out of that area, but I've just been told that I need some iron rods. I need to do like the next section of my house. I'm going to need like maybe a ton. And I'm like, I'm going to have to pay an extra 1,000 cedis. So the quote that I was given, if many of you have been watching, which was 26,000 cedis to do some work, has now gone up by at least another 1,000 cedis because iron rods have gone up. Pray for me. But my point here is to tell you that just don't procrastinate when it comes to building. If you're going to build, just start, because you come and build in 2 years from now, it's going to be even more expensive. Yes, your dollar rate, your pound rate may have gone up, but honestly, when you look at it, you're still losing in some ways. Everything else is going to go up. Cost of labor will probably go up as well. So it's getting harder and harder and harder to build for people. Like, it really is. Prices are just going up. So even if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not building, I'm buying, your price of buying is also going to go up, because the developer who is building your house that now has to pay an extra 1,000 cedis on his ton of iron rods is going to pass that cost on to you, the buyer, because that's just how it works. Okay, so we're all out here losing. We are all out here losing right now. I'm telling you, Building here in Ghana right now is crazy. It is no joke. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is hard work. And I'm just here to tell you to just start and just enlighten you on a few things when it comes to building. Now, I know many of you have been watching my videos for many years because of the building stuff that I've been doing. It hasn't actually been flowing as fast as I would have liked it to do for various different reasons. Number one, namely being financial, because it's hard out here. I have just put my children into school and it is crazy expensive. And so it has held me back. But I'm working on it and I'm going to get there. Now, some of the things that I want you to understand when it comes to building in Ghana, because I see the comments on my videos. I see you. Some of you talk about, the workers are barefoot. They don't have this. They don't have that. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Yes, some of your ideas are absolutely amazing. And I think, why didn't I think of that? What a great idea. And some of your ideas I've actually implemented once I see feedback on my videos, right? I can't give you an example right now because I can't think off the top of my head. But definitely the sentiment is there. So I love it when you share ideas with me because it helps me to grow and it helps me to be better at what I do. But there are some things that just don't work here in Ghana because it just doesn't. I recently had my ground had to be dug up and we needed to mend a pipe that was in the ground. Now, many of you screamed, "Oh, your builder is cheating you," and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Honestly, he's not. I've worked with him for many years. I trust him implicitly to do what he's supposed to do. That doesn't mean he's not capable of making mistakes. Now, there's a difference between making a mistake and doing something on purpose, which is going to cause further harm. Okay, there's a big difference between that. And I don't believe that he's trying to actually cause me harm. I think that sometimes when it comes to doing things in Ghana, you have to understand that if something, you can be a great person at the top of your business. Sometimes those that work for you may not have the necessary, what's the word I'm looking for? They may not have the same passion for what as what you do. So they may not do the job as meticulously. So sometimes things get overlooked. And I'm not saying that's what happened in the case of the squash pipe. I'm just saying that these things are possible. That's just a general, I have to be very clear with you guys because sometimes, why? Anyway, so yeah, sometimes there is just, it just is, right? So sometimes it can be like that. So the pipe that was in the ground had squashed and that needed to come out and needs to be fixed. Now, some of you are saying, "Oh, why don't they have one of those, I don't know what they're called, pipe cameras where they put it down the thing?" Hey, in this Ghana here, there might be some people, some companies that will have those, but I guarantee you're going to pay for the cost of that thing because no one's coming to do these little odd jobs for you and have that kind of equipment. First of all, we have an issue of light off in Ghana. So even if it doesn't take electricity and it takes some type of battery, I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be some type of fault, even if they happen to have it, because that's just how Ghana is. You have to expect the unexpected. That's just how it is. Things do not necessarily work in the same way in the West as they do here. So that's a hurdle that you have to get over very quickly if you're going to build here, because if you don't, you're going to get extremely frustrated. So I can say to my workers, "Oh, you can't work because you haven't got boots on," and da-da-da-da-da. Then they won't come to work. They won't come to work because, and I'm not saying that it's right. Let me just be clear. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not justifying anything like that. But what I am saying is that's how they work. That's how they're comfortable. Again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's right to be walking around with bare feet on, a site that has pins and nails and screws all over the place. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that these are some of the things that happen. And I know for a fact many people who have said, "Oh, they should be doing this, doing that." Then when they come to Ghana and they start building, they experience the same thing. And that's just how it is here. So I think, although those things are right, to put in all this protective gear is right and it should be done, sometimes enforcing it is not always easy just because this is Ghana. Now, I know some of you are going to jump on and say, "Oh, but this Ghana is not an excuse." Yes, it's not an excuse, but still, this is Ghana. And so, yeah, you have to get used. There's just certain things that you just have to get used to. It's just a way of life here. And I think if you're going to adapt to living in Ghana, these are just some of the things that you have to adapt to. So I did a video recently with Portia and Sketch, and they were talking about their home building process. Now, for many of us that are building individually on our own, we don't necessarily have a contractor per se. Okay, we have a person that knows about building and knows many people. So I could, okay, let me start again. So the person that I use, he is a contractor, but he has many people underneath him that all have their own businesses as well. So he will know a plumber, he will know electrician, he will know all the different, a plasterer, he will know all the different things, but he can also do some of those things to himself as well. Now, I know a lot of you jumped on that video that I did with Portia and Sketch. If you haven't watched it, go look for it. I can't remember what the title was, but it's somewhere there. Check it out. Yeah, so some of you jumped into that comment section and you were talking about, you know, why doesn't he have a contractor? You know, that's the proper way to do it, and so on and so forth. Again, this is Ghana. And that's just how we do it sometimes. Sometimes you get one person to come and they'll do one particular job for you. Then you'll stop because you've run out of money. And then later on you'll go again and you keep going slowly. So even for me, one time I might have the plumbers doing work at my house and then there's no work going on. And then another time I may have some laborers come to do some things for me. And then it stops, nothing is going on. And then another time I may have the electrician in, and you just work in bits. That's just how you build. I can have a contractor and say, okay, well, I'm going to pay for him to come and work to foundation or to lintel or to wherever, to all these different floors. Trust me, that's a more expensive way of doing building. It just is. And I know some of you are going to jump in my comment section. I know I'm prepared for you. I really believe that I'm ready for you. It's okay. You can say what you want. I'm not going to be offended because I've lived here for 10 years. And so I kind of know a little thing or two. So it's fine. Oh my gosh. Yes. So anyway, the point is that when you come to Ghana and you're building, there are certain things that you need to get used to very quickly so you don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated with your workers. There's no point. There's no point in shouting. It doesn't change a damn thing. They don't care. They're not receptive to you shouting. It doesn't mean a single thing. So you're only going to hurt yourself, give yourself high blood pressure. There is no point. Again, building materials are going to go up. If you don't start now, you're going to do yourself a disservice. There's certain things that you cannot store. You cannot buy cement and keep it. It will get damaged. You can't do that. If you're going to use cement for something, you have to buy it at the time that you need it. Iron rods you can potentially buy and put down aside. So maybe you won't feel the price increase, but you have to have a place to put them. And obviously it's a very valuable material. So if you don't have somewhere secure to put it, you best believe that thing is going to get stolen. You'll wake up in the morning and it is gone. You do not want that. Okay, so these are just some of the little things when it comes to building. It's great to get someone that can perhaps come and oversee your project every now and again if you're not familiar with building and you have no clue what you're doing. But at the same time, you know, you have to learn things for yourself. You're going to learn on the job. You have to be open to learning on the job. You have to be ready to micromanage a lot of the things, even if you're the one with no experience. You have to be prepared to challenge people on things and say, why are you doing it like this? Why are you doing it like that? It's just a part of building. And that's why a lot of people can't do it, because it's not a hands-off process. Even if you call in the best contractor in the world, you're still going to have some input. Well, if in fact, let me take that back. If you call in the best contractor in the world, then you can take your hands off, because likely they'll listen and understand what you mean. There will be nothing that's lost in translation. But if you can't afford the best person in the world, you best believe you are going to micromanage. Everybody that I know that has had a builder do some work for them has had things go wrong, and it's going to be at your cost. That's just how it works. So if they come and they do something wrong, it's at your cost. That's why it's important for you to micromanage. I mean, the plumbing pipe that happened, that was over, how long ago was that? That must have been 2, maybe even going on 3, no, probably 3, no, it's probably about 3 years ago that was done. Damn, that's a long time ago. So it was a long time ago. And so it just is one of them things that happened. Nobody saw it. There's nothing I can do. There's no point in me being upset about it. I just have to find the money and get it fixed and move on with my life and not think about it anymore. That's just how it is. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to let you guys know what what was happening on the ground when it comes to building. It is hard right now. It is not a hands-off process, as I say. It can be incredibly frustrating. I know many of you wonder, how do you do it? How do you do it? I don't know how I do it. I just put one foot in front of the other, and every day I take another step, and I take another step, and I take another step. And then I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, the building has got to this point. I can't believe it. That's just how it is. And that's pretty much the culture that you have to live with even if you're going to just live here and you're not building, you're not doing anything to do with property. You just literally every day you take one step, one step, one step. And before you know it, you've got to a place where you're like, I can't believe I've pulled this off. That's just Ghana for you. I'm just going to be very real. I keep saying this is Ghana. Until you've lived here for a while, you won't understand, but this is Ghana. Anyway, I have to keep smiling because, if you don't smile, you're going to cry, you're going to upset yourself, no point, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. But anyway, as I said, that's the end of today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section about what I've said today. What do you think about the price increase? Are you building? Is it hurting you? And also, if you are building and you would love for me to come and have a look at your project, if you want me to, let's have a conversation about what your building process has been like, drop me an email to dela@moretodela.com and let's make that happen. I really want to share some of your stories, not just mine. I know a lot of you, because I bump into some of you in the street sometimes, and you're like, your story, your building is amazing and you want to know more. I think it would be great for me to be able to share the story of others who are also building so that you guys can get a bit more of a bit more insight into what the building process is like, not just for me, because I know for some of you, you think it's because you're a woman, that's why they're doing it to you, that's why they're doing it to you. No, they do it to everybody. I am a woman, yes, and that probably does disadvantage me to some extent, but as I said, I have a builder who I trust very much, and so a lot of that is actually mitigated for me personally, but I would love to hear your stories, so let me know, drop me an email, drop me a comment in the comment section and let's talk. Let's do it. Okay. So if you haven't already, that was really high pitched, wasn't it? If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time, what did we say? Nutitfafa.